Hey beautiful souls, I hope you have had an amazing rest and a great time over Christian New Year. Perhaps you're still on holidays, and if so, please enjoy yourself. Please take time to rest, to relax, to restore, rejuvenate. 2020 was a huge year for so many people and in so many ways and on so many different levels, and so I just first and foremost want to send out huge love to anybody that experienced hardship or major challenges in 2020, which I know for sure was a lot of people. Energetically and emotionally, 2020 was a huge year. Anything that needed to be looked at, healed, or that was unresolved was really what presented on so many different levels. Good morning, lovely to have you on here. Please say a big hello if you're jumping on. And I'm really wanting to jump in and talk about a topic which honestly has kind of, really been huge for me even this morning. And this plays out, sometimes I think it's a little bit hormonally related. So some of you ladies might relate with that. But I think sometimes too, it can really go back to what are the thoughts that we're thinking, or where are our biggest woundings, or what are we most scared of. And often these fears can be quite unconscious. They can be driving us in all sorts of ways, and the one that I want to really talk about the most today is this fear of failure. Fear of failure is a huge one for a lot of people, and unconsciously it can have us pushing and driving and working way too hard in order to compensate or to make up for or to answer the inner critic that is kind of cracking the whip to ensure that we don't fail. And what it does, it creates a hypervigilance, a fearful state where it feels very difficult to actually move yourself forward. Often there can be huge resistance. I certainly had that this morning. Hey Laura, great to have you on, honey. Happy New Year. Yeah, it can present as huge resistance. And what huge resistance kind of looks like, it's that awkward, yucky feeling of like, oh my God, I just don't want to do this thing. And so, for example, sometimes I have that before jumping on and doing a Facebook Live. It's actually been a little while since I've done a Facebook Live, like nearly a month, I think. And so sometimes, when our confidence drops or our self-belief drops, or there's other thoughts kind of playing out around different things, when we're not in the habit of doing things regularly, or perhaps you have a story, I'm not confident enough. And so every time you use the words I am, you're literally hypnotizing your system. You're literally hypnotizing your body. It acts like a puppet. It answers the call of the words and the language that you're using. That's why NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, is so powerful, because it really focuses and hones in on the language that we use that's literally programming our neural aspects of the brain, and telling us who we are and who we get to be every single day. So when we're using the words like I am, and if that's a negative statement after that, so I am stupid, or I'm dumb, or I can't do this, like any of those things, you're literally hardwiring that stuff into your system and hypnotizing yourself. And that sometimes can be what creates further and further fear and panic and fear of failure in, oh my God, I'm not good enough, because there's more and more greater resistance. And with the law of attraction, there's greater and greater momentum that builds in this particular area. And when we get a bit of momentum, it's kind of like the boulder rolling down the hill. It can be hard to kind of pull it up, and it takes a lot of energy, a lot of will. It's kind of like David and Goliath coming together, as Joe Dispenza would say, in overcoming the old self, in overcoming the old identity. I bumped up against one of my older aspects of feeling insecure, feeling anxious this morning. And even some mentors that are very high level, high profile that I've spoken to, can have some of those same fears and anxieties, because it's our humanness. That is the polarity that we actually are living in, of that duality of fear or love. Are we going to buy into the old fears, into the old limiting beliefs, the old story of I'm not enough in some way, shape or form? Or are we actually going to step into our true depth, our true power, our true light, and bring that in from a place of absolute love? And often when we're driving ourselves in ways that are unresourceful, so what I'm meaning by that is when you feel that you have to relentlessly push yourself, or you can't stop, you can't rest, where it's not coming from true self-love or from a place of like love and freedom and expansion, where it's like, oh my God, like I have to do this because it's in contraction and in fear, then that is where, like, no matter how hard we're working and no matter how much we're trying to do, the results often are very minimalistic, if there are any, outcomes that we're actually getting, because we're working against the law of attraction in that moment with our emotional state and vibrational state. And so it is one of those things, particularly when you're wanting to be more of your authentic self. Huge fears can come up around that, because in truth, it feels better, or it feels easier if we're rejected for being somebody that we're not, instead of actually exposing or being real and being totally raw with who you are at your heart, your core, your soul, and expressing that, and then that being supposedly rejected by somebody else. And I wrote a blog post on this morning, because it was really speaking to my heart. In truth, like, rejection doesn't exist. Rejection is actually totally false, because all that rejection is somebody rejecting an aspect of themselves that they've not yet learnt to embrace and to behold and to accept within themselves. So when you're feeling rejected by somebody else, or somebody else is triggered by what you're saying or how you're showing up or what's going on for you, in truth, that's actually just what's going on for them. It's when we take that personally and we make it mean something other than what it actually is, that's where it has the impact of devaluing ourselves, or we're allowing it to impact our sense of lovability, our sense of worth, our worthiness, our sense of deservingness, our sense of value, and sense of respect and love for who we actually are. And that is where we tend to put the blanket over the top of us, or wear the brown coat to hide our light, to hide our unique gifts, to hide what it is that we are here to share. And I've had a lot of that stuff, like personally for myself, around my sensitivities, around my emotional nature. I am extraordinarily sensitive, and from that I experience huge big emotions, and whatever we've experienced shame for, or felt that we were punished, or felt that we lost love as a result of acting or behaving a particular way, is where we will experience the most shame, or the most deepest feelings of unworthiness, or that's bad, that's wrong, I can't be that, I have to hide that from the world. And so this can often play out in so many different ways in our life, and really stop us from actually expanding into the truth of who we actually are on a greater level as well. So say a big hello if you're on here, or perhaps if this is resonating for you. It's such an important topic, because I think at the truth of everything, all human beings want to express their truest and most authentic real self, to really have the courage to step in and be who we actually really are. And it can be scary at the start, because often, particularly if we've been wearing a bit of a shell or a bit of a persona, or have a bit of a facade going, that's can even be that imposter syndrome, where it's like, oh my God, if they knew the real me. That is actually our wounded ego speaking. It's not the real truth of who you are. It's that fear that we're not enough, or I don't deserve this, or they think that I'm this wonderful person, they think that all this stuff, but oh my gosh, underneath. But that is actually just a facade. That's actually not the real you. The real you is what people are witnessing and what people are seeing as your brilliance, as your amazingness. But often we want to dull that down, we want to bring that in, we want to hide that, because we're really scared about being judged from others about that as well. So such a huge topic. It's I use a whole bunch of tools and skills in order to move myself energetically and emotionally every day when I have those bigger kind of life themes come up. And sometimes it can be transitory in terms of what's presenting in life, and within the energies around us as well, on a theme base of of what's presenting for humanity in that moment. And we all have core woundings. We all come in with particular core woundings. For me personally, I've done a lot of study like around the gene keys and things like that as well. At genekeys.com is an amazing place to start if you're not familiar with perhaps what some of your core woundings are and how you can bring healing and love and light to those and accept those parts of ourselves, because in truth, that's what we're all here to do, and we lift humanity up, we raise humanity, we raise the love and light that's available for everybody by each of us doing our own part in healing those aspects of self, sorry, getting tongue-tied, that where we can then we're no longer triggered by that in other or that in somebody else around us when we're doing the inner work and healing and loving ourselves. All relationships have such a power and such a capacity and opportunity to heal those deeper aspects within ourselves. And those that you're triggered by the most, those that you're challenged by the most, are the most beneficial relationships when you really look within and go, hang on, what am I sticky to? Why do I keep attracting these same similar situations? What is it that I need to heal within me in order to be able to transcend that experience and to stop repeating those same patterns or dynamics that are playing out? It's really, really powerful work. And with that, I'm really excited to also announce that I am running yet another year of my Inner Circle Mastermind. This year we've changed things up a little bit to really help to leverage your time, your energy, and to be able to help you get your goals in a faster, quicker way than ever before. So the way that I'm running the Inner Circle Mastermind for this year's rollout is that with your enrollment, your membership, you'll get one-to-one monthly coaching session with one of my amazing mindset coaches. She walks her talk. She's had to have tremendous courage in her own life to fully express and be who she is. And I'm really excited to bring her on board to be working with you personally. And I'll also be doing two lots of or fortnightly Q&A sessions as well, where you get to jump in, pick my brain, and be personally coached by me within a coaching setting where all the women in there are really elevating. They're all working on their own self-development journey and moving forward in a powerful way as well. So I'll pop the link below if this speaks to you or resonates with you. Perhaps you have a dear friend that you'd love to go on an amazing journey over 12 months with, where we're focusing on all the different life areas. Such a really, really powerful thing to do. To transform your relationships, to transform your money aspects, to transform manifestation, to transform your physical health and well-being, your emotional state, your purpose, passion, career, business, spirituality, fun, adventure, being able to celebrate more and more, being able to really understand and leverage planning and scheduling. And I take everything that I've learned over the last 10, 11 years, and you get to pick my brain with that. I've invested over $270,000 in my own education, in courses, mentoring, and with everything that I've learned, and it is just for an absolute fraction fraction of that in terms of how it can really show up, transform your life, and have you really taking the actions and taking the self-responsibility and showing up in a different way that helps you to create more and more of the life that you love as well. So if that really speaks to you and resonates, please reach out to me, or I'll pop the link below as well. And sending you so much love, so much light, so much energy for an incredible and amazing 2021, and really looking forward to being on that Inner Circle Mastermind journey if that really speaks to you and calls to you in your heart. Have a great day, guys. Bye for now.